From Lake Madeline here in Salt Lake, we're making apple turnovers.
We are.
She just put a gallon of butter in that pan, so you know it's going to be good.
Well, you know, I really like butter.
Well, I think most people do.
We do. Well,
Yeah.
and we use really good, we use the butter with an extra fat content, so an extra high fat content.
Oh, well,
it
even,
makes it
even
extra
better.
delicious.
Yeah.
Well, it's great for cooking with.
Okay,
It's
so what
also
you're doing
great.
here is, I guess you're going to caramelize
We're gonna
the apples
mhm.
that go in the turnover.
Oops, we are. So I'm sautéing them in the butter first.
Mhm.
I want to get them coated. Our butter got a little brown there. That's okay. It adds extra flavor. It has kind of a nutty flavor to it, which is always nice. And then I'm going to sprinkle some sugar on it. And this is where our caramel is going to be.
That is
so
some sugar.
it's about a cup.
Okay.
It's about a cup of sugar. But this is going to make a lot of turnovers, so it'll get spread around.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll mix all that together.
And that's going to like turn into a brown caramel.
Yes, we're going to cook it until it's nice and brown, and then we're going to put it in a shell made of puff pastry.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make your own, or you can use store-bought puff pastry. We make our own, though.
You make your own, but I think today
Yeah.
you brought the store-bought variety, right?
Well, I brought my own.
Oh, you did bring your own. Well,
I did bring my own.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we feel-
It seems silly to go buy some when I just have some that I already made,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. So, but the great thing about
It
these
takes a lot of
turnovers.
work to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. It takes many hours. Most of it's resting time, but but you can do any kind of filling. We also do this with mushrooms on the inside, which makes a nice lunch. And we use that same puff pastry to make our chicken pot pie that we have as a lunch special.
All right, so
we're gonna let this
you guys
caramelize.
do a lot of pastries as well as you have a lunch menu.
We have a lunch menu and a hot breakfast menu.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Lake Madeline,
Yes.
and it's downtown Salt Lake. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. And
Your cutting device, you were showing that during the break.
Yes, it's our bicycle. I
Look
don't know why
at
it's called a
that.
bicycle, because there are 5.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what they call it. And so you can set it to different widths.
Quintessicle.
Exactly.
Maybe.
So you can cut lots of squares.
And you can adjust
all at
it?
once.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
you can adjust it, and then you
So if you do pastries, that's
yeah,
the
this
tool.
is one of my favorite
I
toys.
bet. It's
yeah, because
cool.
then you don't have to measure.
Yeah.
You just measure once, and then
they're
you
all
cut.
even. Okay,
Yeah.
and then
so
they
it's
end up
really
being
fabulous.
perfect
And then
little
they
squares.
yeah, exactly. So then, so one of the things you want to do. Oh, do you mind handing me
you
that
finished
spatula
this.
over there?
Oh,
we
You
did.
finished caramelizing the apples.
The
It took
apples.
a while.
It took a while, yeah, and that's okay. So you're going more for a color than a period of time, you know.
Okay. Make sure they're good and brown.
But I did these in advance because I like them to be cold, because puff pastry is full of really thin layers of butter. So if
Right.
you put something hot on them, it's just going to melt, and then you aren't going to get that puffiness.
You'll get flat. You won't
You'll get flat.
puffy.
It'll
Okay.
still be buttery and tasty and stuff, but it won't be puffy.
Okay.
Which
And you
was-
don't need too much. I bet
No.
overstuffing is very tempting.
Overstuffing is very tempting, but then you can't get it closed. And then also, just use a tiny bit of egg wash. You don't want it to be gloppy,
Okay.
because if it's gloppy, then it's not going to stick.
Gloppy. That's a pastry.
Gloppy is a very technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then you can press them together, and then I like to chill them at this point.
Again, to keep the butter.
To keep the butter
Okay.
soft, and then also it just kind of helps them be easier to work with.
Okay.
So here I got a little bit there, and it might split open.
Okay, these you have
when
nice
we
and
bake
tight,
them.
though, so it's not going to leak out.
Right. And so one of the things you want to do before you bake them is you want to egg wash them, and that's going to make them shiny. And then, because they're going to expand, we want them to not split open. So you
Okay.
take a knife, and you very gently, so you don't want to cut through the dough.
Hardly
You're
touching it.
barely touching it, but you want to make some little score lines so that it gives it room to expand. And then don't egg wash it again, because you'll actually seal them shut.
Seal it up.
Yeah, and so this is what we'll end up with after you
I can't
bake them.
believe that. Those little scores end up letting it...
Yeah, see, and then you end up with like a little design, and you can make leaves. Here I went crazy and made a lotus flower.
But it puffs open like that when it bakes.
Right.
Oh
and so
my gosh.
this one, you can tell, I got some apples in my egg wash, and it's split open.
But it's still going to be delicious.
It still tastes great.
Okay.
The only thing is you run the risk of it burning.
Well, we're going
in
to
the
try
oven.
it to taste them after the break.
After the break.
Okay, let's see how messy. All right,
Okay,
come on,
what do you think?
Ron gets the one that broke open.
It's okay. It's still delicious.
Look at that.
But
Perfect.
even though, there's still a good amount of filling in there, even though, you
Oh, yeah.
want to stick more in there, but it's enough.
That is.
Yeah, it's enough.
And I hate to say it, but if you don't make your own puff pastry, you can
You
do
can totally,
this.
you absolutely
You can buy it.
And the great thing is that you could make these in advance if you have time on Tuesday and serve them on Sunday for brunch. Like freeze them.
Okay, we got to go. See you later.
Yum.